Hey guys, what's up? My name's Tim, and the other day I came across a video of a young woman talking about being young and having dentures, and it inspired me to create my own videos. So here it is, my personal story. Now, to start out, I got my upper dentures when I was 30. And at the time I wasn't working, I didn't have insurance or anything, so what I did is I typed out an email explaining my personal situation, how my bad teeth were affecting my life in some pretty negative ways. Yeah, I just basically explained, my story, and emailed it to all of the dentists in my hometown, which is a pretty small town. And I got a response from one of them offering to fix my teeth or do the dentures pro bono for free. So yeah, that's how I got my upper dentures, and I was lucky enough to get a dentist who was amazing at what he did. He was fresh out of medical school or dental school, younger guy, but he specialized in dentures and he did an amazing job. They pretty much immediately fit perfectly when I got them. There wasn't a whole lot of adjustment time, after I get them. For a lot of people there is. A lot of people get dentures that don't fit right or whatever, and it's just really uncomfortable for a long time. I've known many people with dentures who are never comfortable with them. They've never had dentures that actually fit, perfectly or whatever, and they've had a lot of problems with them. That was not the case for me. I was very lucky. Anyway, now my bottom teeth were still salvageable at that point, so the plan was to have more work done on my bottom teeth, but that dentist ended up taking a job in another state or something and moving away. So again, I didn't have insurance and I didn't have the money to have the work done, so I went another like 4 years without having anything done to my bottom teeth, and by that point they had gotten bad enough that they weren't really salvageable. So I was going to need lower dentures as well. But luckily by this point I had gotten some health insurance through, I owe Obamacare for that, honestly. I didn't have any insurance prior to Obamacare, and Obamacare ensured that I got insurance. Anyway, so I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket for the lowers either. And it's definitely a blessing. I mean, those of you who actually have had to pay out of pocket for your dentures know that they can be really expensive. So anyway, but I also got very lucky with the bottom dentures. I got another really good dentist, another fairly young dentist, who put a lot of time and care into making sure that they fit and were as comfortable as they could possibly be. And it took a little while. There was definitely more of an adjustment for the lower dentures. Lower dentures can be a pain in the ass. I've heard horror stories from a lot of older people and stuff with dentures, and they say that the lower ones are difficult. The upper ones are fine, but the lower ones cause problems, because with the uppers you've got some natural suction in your mouth, so they stay in. That's not the case with the lowers. You don't have that natural suction, so they don't stay in nearly as well. However, I use denture adhesive, and I don't have any problem at all with either the uppers or the lowers not staying in. They both stay in very well. I can eat whatever I want, with the exception maybe of jerky. I haven't really tried to eat a whole lot of jerky. But I mean, I can eat steak, I can eat anything else. I've actually found that eating is easier now that I have dentures. I don't have to worry about, sensitive teeth or cavities or anything like that, anything that's going to be painful when I eat. I don't have to worry about any of that anymore, so that's been great. Now, I understand the biggest concern with younger people who get dentures is that it's sort of embarrassing. Dentures are something that you usually associate with older people, so for young people it can be embarrassing, and it was for me, definitely. Like, I didn't hide the fact that I had dentures, but I would never let anybody see me with them out. Now, with the bottom ones out, I still look basically the same, and it doesn't really affect my speech. But with the top ones out, I look 20 years older, and definitely, you can hear it in my speech, gives me a serious lisp, and it's just ridiculous. But yeah, so I definitely would never have my top ones out around anybody else. And that includes my family, my parents and stuff. I wouldn't let anyone other than my dentist see me without the uppers in. But recently that changed. I had thought about it a lot, and I just decided, you know what? Life is short. There's no sense being embarrassed about something that I have no control over, that's a part of who I am now, that's going to be something that I'm going to have to deal with the rest of my life, most likely, unless I eventually get implants, which I hope to do someday, but they're insanely expensive and insurance doesn't cover that. So yeah, maybe a long time, maybe never, but whatever, for now I'm very happy with the dentures. I come from a small town. I live in Portland, Oregon now, so it's a bigger city. But I'm originally from a small town, and there's a serious drug problem there. I think in most small American towns there's a drug problem, but there is a extremely significant drug problem in the small town that I'm from. It's on the Oregon coast, and there's a major port there, so a lot of drugs coming in through that port. Anyway, but meth is the biggest problem there, and as most of you know, meth tends to wreak havoc on your teeth. So when I was living in that town, whenever I would meet somebody new or have a job interview or something, I just always had this concern in the back of my mind that they were going to see my teeth and immediately assume that I was a meth addict. And that's a valid concern. I'm pretty sure that I didn't get many different jobs because at the interview, they saw my teeth, assumed I was a drug addict, and, they don't want drug addicts working for them, whatever. So, I mean, I don't know that for sure. Nobody ever actually came out and said, we're not going to hire you because you have bad teeth. But, I couldn't help but think that that's what they were thinking. And I was very insecure about it. I didn't smile. I didn't want people seeing my teeth, like, ever. So, whatever. But anyway, in my case, it was unlucky genetics, apparently. I don't know. I mean, I've never been into drugs or anything like that, so that was not the cause. I always took very good care of my teeth growing up. I brush, floss, all of that, went to the dentist regularly. But I just always had bad teeth, like, my whole life. And, I was adopted at birth, so I don't know anything about my biological family. So I don't know if it's, a hereditary thing or whatever, but I'm left to assume that it's genetic, given the fact that I always took care of my teeth and didn't do any drugs or anything like that. So yeah, that is what led to me getting dentures, was just genetics, I guess. I don't know. I was not very lucky in that department. I also started going bald in high school, which is also ridiculous. And now at 35, I'm getting gray hairs. I don't know. Apparently I'm aging like 10 times faster than I should, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I decided to embrace this thing about me. and even use it to make people laugh. So recently I started a YouTube channel called Random Awesome. And just last week I uploaded 2 videos that are probably both going to be series. I'm going to continue to do videos like these. But anyway, one of them is Toothless Karaoke, where I basically just sing karaoke without my teeth in. And it's all about the comedy. It's not about, you know, the music or anything like that. You know, I mean, I am really into karaoke. I am a singer, so of course I try and sound decent, but again, it's really about the comedy. I know I'm not going to sound great without my teeth in, so whatever. And the other one is Toothless Monologues, where I just basically perform monologues from like movies and other sources without my teeth in. And again, it's all about the comedy. I'm not an actor. I know that. So, you know, it's just, I decided to just embrace it. You know, I'm not going to be embarrassed about it. So, you know, I mean, yeah, there's still a part of me that's embarrassed by it, but, you know, just being overly concerned with that is a waste of time. There's nothing, you know, I have no control over it. You know, it was bad genetics or whatever. You know, I was just unlucky, and there's nothing I can do about it. So you know what? Might as well just not waste time being embarrassed about it. Embrace it. Now, if for you younger people who are considering getting dentures or are at a point where you're going to have to get dentures in the near future, I just want to put your minds at ease about the whole thing, because I was very worried about it before I did it. I thought it was going to change the way I looked. I thought it was going to make me look older. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to eat. And none of that was the case at all. It, you know, like I said, it makes it a lot easier to eat. Because I don't have to worry about like the sensitivity or whatever, you know. It's nice being able to just like shovel ice cream into my mouth and not have to worry about my mouth getting too cold, you know. Most of the time my dentures just feel natural, you know. They just feel like my real teeth did. It's, you know, I don't really notice that I've even got dentures in unless I start thinking about it or whatever. But also, if you are having trouble with your dentures staying in or fitting well enough that they, you know, stay in or whatever, like when you're eating tougher foods like steak and stuff like that, just use a really good denture adhesive. I heard lots of horror stories, you know, about the bottom ones, how they don't stay in very well and they're just a pain in the ass, blah, blah, blah. I have not had that problem at all because I use a good denture adhesive. I use Fixodent Plus, which I've tried all the other ones, and I have found that Fixodent Plus is the only one that really truly works. You know, I mean, it works all day long. It'll keep your teeth firmly in place no matter what you eat. So yeah, by the end of the day, they start to get to the point where they're not staying in as well. And when it gets to that point, you can either just take them out, take them out before bed, or just apply a little bit more adhesive. You know, I mean, it's not that big of a thing. You know, I really don't mind it. Yeah. So, and as far as the looks, it really didn't change my looks all that much. But if anything, you know, it made me look better. I can definitely smile now. You know, that was a really stupid smile. I'm sorry. It's not very photogenic. Anyway, yeah, it definitely has made me look better, and I'm happier with the way I look, you know, when I look in the mirror. Yeah. So definitely, you know, I mean, and there's the advantages of people not jumping to conclusions when they meet me and assuming that I do drugs or whatever. Don't have to worry about that anymore, so that's awesome. Yeah, so Now, if you run into a problem where you get dentures and they don't quite fit right or are uncomfortable, just bug the hell out of your dentist about it, because nobody should have to suffer through that. Your dentist can adjust, make little adjustments to your denture really easily. I mean, literally it takes like 5 minutes. You go in, he pulls out this little drill looking tool, and it's kind of like a Dremel tool actually, and he just sort of, chips away at the parts that are causing discomfort. And when you're going through the healing process after you have all your teeth pulled out, it takes several months before you're fully healed. So your dentures need to be adjusted several times over that first few months. They're not going to fit perfectly or be 100% comfortable when you first get them. So yeah, just bug your dentist. I got really lucky with my dentists, and they made it very clear that they wanted me coming in like up to once a week for several months to have them adjusted. Yeah, the top ones weren't that bad. The top ones I had to have adjusted like one time, and that was it. And that was 5 years ago, and they still fit perfectly. But it took longer for the bottom ones. It definitely took a few months, 4 or 5 months, I think. While my gums were healing and everything, I had to have them adjusted several times. But like I said, it was quick and easy and not a big deal. So definitely, I mean, not every dentist out there is as good as the dentist that I've had. But, if your dentist doesn't let you know that you're going to have them adjusted several times, then you need to bring it up to the dentist. Say, yeah, these aren't fitting very comfortably. I need them adjusted. And your dentist should do that. So yeah, don't settle for dentures that are uncomfortable. Yeah, so that's basically it. I hope that I've helped put your minds at ease about getting dentures. It's really one of the best decisions I made in my adult life. I suffered for several years with bad teeth. Had to deal with people's assumptions and just feeling unattractive and not wanting to smile and all of that, plus the toothaches and everything, the extreme sensitivity. Yeah, I suffered through all of that for years and years and years, but I never have to suffer through any of that anymore. Now the only thing is just dealing with the embarrassment, I guess, of having dentures, and that's no longer an issue for me since I did my toothless karaoke and toothless monologues. So yeah, go check those videos out, by the way. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description, but if I forget, then yeah, just do a YouTube search for either my channel, which is Random Awesome, all one word, or just do a search for toothless karaoke or toothless monologues. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this video too, down below. Click like, whatever. Comment if you have any further questions about being young and having dentures. Ask them down in the comments, and I will definitely respond in a timely fashion. So yeah, that's all I got for you right now. Like I said, you have any questions, anything specific you want to know, put it down in the description. I'm a pretty good source of information when it comes to being young with dentures. So yes, and thank you to the YouTube young woman that inspired me to make this video. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but yes, thank you, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.